Hello, welcome to Jackrabbit Journal, and on to basketball now. In the new year, and both South Dakota State hoop teams off and running in Summit League play, both off to 1-1 starts so far on the season. The Jackrabbit men took a loss in their league opener. The Jacks get out to a 15-point lead at halftime, but North Dakota State outscores them 58-32 in the second half, and the Bison win 80-69. That ends the Jackrabbits' home win streak at 34 in a row. But they come back on Saturday and beat South Dakota 73-72. Mike Dom scores with 2.8 seconds left to win it. 30 points for Dom, and that is the fourth time this season that he has scored at least that. So the men are 1-1, so are the Jackrabbit women, playing without Macy Miller, who was out for the season, without Clarissa Ober, who is out indefinitely right now. The Jacks get a scare in the Summer League opener, but they pull out a 3-point win at North Dakota State. Maddie Giebert with 24 points in that one. And then the Jackrabbits fall at South Dakota on Saturday. Giebert again with 21. Jacks up by 11 at the half, but South Dakota uses a big third quarter to pull ahead and win that one 65-62. And we will talk about all of that with head coach Aaron Johnston coming up next. He and his team dealing with a lot of out of the ordinary stuff right now.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, Service First Federal Credit Union, and JackrabbitCentral.com.
Welcome back. The Jackrabbit women play on Thursday night at Frost Arena hosting Fort Wayne. The Jacks will go into that game 1-1 in Summer League play so far this season. The lineup has been shredded by injuries and the defense not quite where Coach Johnson wants it to be yet. Here is AJ. Let's talk about the opening weekend of Summer League play. Start with the game at North Dakota State to get started. Win by 3, but behind all of the first half or most of the first half in this game?
It felt like we were behind for 39 minutes. I don't think that's quite the case,
yeah.
But we just started off really poorly defensively in that first quarter. They did a great job, NDSU, of attacking the basket. They got the ball inside some, penetration, a little bit of transition. You hit a couple threes, and all of a sudden you're down, and we had to fight back. And gosh, we've been able to do that a few times this year, and that's hard to do. And it's a compliment to our team, but it's also a concern. What are the things that are happening? And our defense this year has been good, but these last probably 4 or 5 games, we haven't been where we need to defensively, and that really contributed to North Dakota State getting a good start.
I mean, you talk about not being good in some play. What places specifically defensively that you can think of?
We just haven't defended the ball one-on-one the way we need to. Penetration has really hurt us, I think, at times. We're a little undersized right now, so we don't have the ability to challenge or even block shots inside when that happens. Some of the rotations aren't quite where they need to be. I would say things that probably have lingered for a longer period of time, but when you've got Ober standing down there in the middle, she covers up so much. And I know I've talked about how important she is to our team. I don't think people outside of maybe us really understand what she does for us offensively and defensively. And so playing without her is something we'll have to get used to, and also something that we can use to highlight some of those areas to get better. All
right, more on her in a moment. And then you go to USD and lose down there 65-62. And had the lead in the first half, and then it got away a little bit in the third quarter.
Third quarter just didn't get it done for us. I thought we played pretty well in the first and second. Foul trouble was a big part of that game. So we're sitting Carrie at the end of the second quarter. We're sitting Ellie. We're sitting Lexi. Sitting Sid Palmer. And so our lineup out there is a little unique, but we were able to maintain a lead there. Maddie hit some big shots for us in that second quarter and played awfully well. But then when they come back in the third, they're thinking, I can't foul. I need to stay out of foul trouble. And I thought our defensive intensity really took a big step back in that third quarter. Started to come back in the fourth, but the damage was done, and then we were in a dogfight. Still, it was tied with 2 minutes to go. They banked in a shot. We missed a couple shots, and they did a great job of finishing that game, and we didn't quite get over that hump. So we had our chances, but my big takeaway there is defensively, we've got to get back to being a championship caliber team on that end of the floor.
All right, and that has in large part to do without Clarissa Ober. Out of the lineup right now, injured in that Wichita State game. What is her status right now?
Well, she's still really day-to-day is what we keep calling it. She doesn't have a structural injury at all. There's nothing down there that in her leg that is an exact timeline. There's some numbers she needs to get to with range of motion and just her strength back in that leg. And when she hits those numbers, she'll be cleared and good to go. It could be very soon, could be another week, could be longer. It just really depends on how that leg responds. So she works hard at it. Our sports medicine people are after it. And we want to work hard to bring her back, but I'll be honest, as a coach, I'm not sitting here by the phone waiting for someone to call me and tell me she's ready. I'll be happy when she is, but I spend a lot more time right now worried about the players we have on the floor and what we need to do to get better. And we're not going to just sit and wait for somebody to come back, and that's an important thing for our team to know.
And a chance for Ellie to play maybe more minutes and play better. And Sydney Palmer, girl from Pierce, South Dakota, in the starting lineup, which is new for her, and that's just been another adjustment, hasn't it?
It has. It's moved everybody. You mentioned Ellie, so I'll come back to her. Ellie's a 4, and now she's starting for us at the 5, playing almost exclusively the 5. So that means she's going up against 5. So that changes her offensive production, and that's hurt us a little offensively. Sydney Palmer now is a starter, as you mentioned, probably with 3-4. Now she's playing a lot of 4. Happened to play against 2 really good post units in NDSU and USD out of position. So she's learning how to do that, but she's starting to make shots. She's playing with a lot of confidence. She's an enthusiastic, excitable player, so she brings a good energy to our team, and it's fun to see her grow into that role. Like it or not, I don't know that anybody's ready for it, and in the middle of the season and you just get thrown into it, it makes it even tougher. So she's responded, I think, well to it, and we'll continue to improve as we go forward.
Obviously, without Macy Miller now, has everybody gotten past emotionally and mentally playing without Macy this year?
Oh, I think so. I think it when it happened back in December, I think it took a couple days, and mostly because we just didn't have time to practice. We really played the Green Bay game, finished it, didn't play well, had about an hour and a half, then we played George Washington, had about another hour and a half of practice, and we went to Louisville, and that was just a debacle. We didn't respond well. We snuck out a good win against George Washington, but we weren't playing great. I think offensively, when I look at Maddie play right now and Lexi play, both of those two are playing really well at the point. Last 2 games, Lexi's had probably 11 assists, maybe 1 turnover. Maddie's handled that role really well. People around them kind of understand how they need to score. We're going to need more production from Carrie still, and she knows that. She's been more aggressive in these last couple of games, and that won't change going forward. But I think the team is ready to move forward offensively and defensively now with that.
And games are going to be close, aren't they? If we've learned nothing from the opening couple of games, maybe learn that.
Well, for us, I hope not. I hope they're a little bit easier, but for us, they have been, and that's okay. We've got experienced players. People, I remind everybody, Carrie's a 1,000-point scorer. I see Ellie being a 1,000-point scorer. Maddie's going to be a 1,000-point scorer. As Clarissa comes back, one of the best players in the league. There's no shortage of talent on this team. We just need to play a little bit better, especially on the defensive end.
Well, from AJ to TJ, Coach Otzelberger is up next. Yes, we will talk about the zone defense, but he would just like a little more fight out of his guys right now. Well, you know how you think something is going to go one way and then it turns out to go completely different than what you thought? That has been the season so far for new Jackrabbit men's basketball coach TJ Otzelberger. Here is Coach on the first 2 Summit League games and how he is still trying to find the right combinations. All right, we're with TJ Otzelberger for our first sit down with the head coach in his first season out with the Jackrabbits. How you doing since you've been here? How's it going?
Things are going well. I think we had a little bit of a transition there early. For the coach, for the players, for new players involved. Obviously, wins and losses early didn't go the way that we've liked, but feel like we've grown. We've gained a sense of identity on both sides of the ball, and things are starting to come together better for us. Now we just got to keep at it on the practice floor.
If nothing else, you've had to adapt, right? From the first day you got here and we talked, it was going to be, well, we think we're going to go up and down a little bit. We're going to play man-to-man. Those things have changed. If nothing else, you've had to adapt a lot here in this first 2 months of the season.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, the way I'd really love to play is get up and down in transition, set early ball screens, and try to attack the paint. We found that playing at that pace and playing that style wasn't best for our personnel. And then on the defensive end of the ball, we wanted to be a pressure man-to-man type of team, and we've had to be adaptive because those first 5 or 6 games we had key players in foul trouble. We were getting beat. Our offensive field goal percentages were low. Our defensive field goal percentages were low. So we've adapted. It's not perfect right now, but I feel like we've settled into kind of who we can be with this team. Now we need to keep getting better at it.
And everyone wants to know, why are they playing zone at South Dakota State? Let's just talk about that first. Why play zone with this team at this time?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers back it up. If you look at the first 6 games, Mike Dom was in foul trouble 5 of the first 6 games, and 2 of them he fouled out. Obviously, he's a sensational offensive player. We need to keep him on the floor for our offense to be successful. Number two, you look at our field goal percentage offense. We were tired. We were fatigued. On the other end, we weren't getting very good shots. Our shooting numbers were really low. We were terrible from the three-point line, but also from the field. Our shooting numbers have increased drastically. You look at the free throw disparity. We're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, but we make more than twice as many as our opponents take, which is a huge stat for our offense. That wasn't happening those first 5 or 6 games. So we feel like although the zone hasn't been perfect, we've got to do a better job employing man principles in the zone and keep getting better at it. But this team is a zone team. We've just got to keep working to get better at it.
All right, let's talk about those 2 games. Start out with North Dakota State here at home, and the Bison shoot 30% in the first half. You guys have the lead by 15 at halftime in this game. It's a great start.
Yeah, we played exactly how we need to play to win that game, that first half. We're up 37-22. We're living at the foul line. We're pounding the ball in the paint. We did a great job locating shooters, keeping the dribble out of the paint. We dictated the guys. They missed shots, but we had the guys taking the shots. We wanted to take the shots. And at halftime, we really stressed to our guys how that first 2 minutes was going to be absolutely critical coming out of the locker room. And then that game changed. It went to a they score, we score, they score, we score momentum game, and that's where we started to see them get some separation.
You had the lead with you're up 16 with 15 minutes left, and then they come back, make a bunch of shots, had the lead for a lot of this game. There was a stretch in the second half, though, just went scoreless for, I think, 5.5 minutes, and you just cannot have stretches like that, right?
No, and it was twofold. One, we need to get Mike Dahm a rest at some point. He can't play 40 minutes a night. We had him out of the game. He ended up sitting at the table longer than we'd have liked because the action kept going. But we feel like for a while, for us, our best defense is our offense. And when we can be stubborn and get the ball into the paint and get the ball into the post, and a lot of that's Mike Dahm, but it's also Ian Tyson, it's also Reed Tellinghusen, it's also our guards attacking the paint, we get great shots. We felt like there was a stretch of possessions there that they dictated the shots that we got, and they were largely perimeter jump shots. We can make shots as a team. We're at our best when we play inside out. We didn't do that stretch, and they kept going on a run, and you could feel that momentum. We had a hard time turning them off.
All right, lose that one by 11, come back against South Dakota and win this one 73-72. Again, a good start. You're up by 8 at halftime in this game. Hold them to 31% shooting in the first half.
Similar story in the first half, for sure. To start the second half, also a similar story. They came out and wanted to drive it at us. And again, even though we're playing zone, we're playing those guys straight up. It's more like a matchup principles in that 3-2, keep the dribble in front. And we were getting blown by off the dribble, getting to the paint, and sometimes people get in the lane, and we don't want to encourage hard fouls, but we've got to be willing to make a play on the ball. We got to be willing to come over and rotate over and not let them get to the basket. We didn't do that. They built that momentum. Now they get an 8-point lead, and I think the thing where we learned our lesson is we came back and we stayed persistent of getting that ball inside and getting post touches. That allowed us to bounce back as opposed to what happened 3 nights sooner.
They take the lead with 11 seconds to go, and then what happens in this last 11 seconds? Was this by design to get Mike the ball at the top of the circle there? How did it play out?
Yeah, so our late game play that we want, that we've practiced every day, we call it a flip series, which is basically point guard dribbles it, Mike Dahm trails behind, keep the shooter spaced to the corner, try to open up that whole floor for him to get a touch. It's really hard at that point in the game to get him a post touch because every team he plays is going to say no matter what, don't let him throw it to Dahm. So we know we're in the double bonus. We know he's a great foul shooter. So we like to clear that whole side for him, and he's driving the ball at you. And again, you put him on the line as a 90% free throw shooter. We like our chances there. You've got to close out on him because he can make the three. And he did an unbelievable job forcing that ball as close as he could to the basket and making sure he got a great shot with 2.8 seconds.
All right, let's talk about offensively before we talk about, we've talked about the zone, but offensively, I think you're more concerned with being tougher at the offensive end, which you don't hear a lot, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, our toughness has to come with we are demanding that the ball gets into the post, and it can be multiple guys, but that involves us being fundamentally sound, pass faking, making sure we get people off balance to get those touches. We need to get that ball into the post at 10 or 12 feet or closer. Sometimes we post at 15, 17. It hurts our spacing. So toughness from our guards and our guys entering the ball to really demand that we get those touches. Toughness from our frontline guys posting to really hold deep position. Because now when we can get that and play inside out, our team's really good. When we value the basketball, I mean, we turned it over 17 times. You're not going to win a lot of nights with 17 turnovers. We were lucky. So the toughness is value it, pound it in, play off those touches, and now what we get, we're usually happy with the result.
Up next, AJ Hess in the Rapid Fire interview. Just how carefree is a guy from a hometown named Carefree? Welcome back. AJ Hess is in the Rapid Fire interview this week. It's 10 quick questions with our Jack Journal producer, David Brown.
All right, so the first one, why are you number 35? You wear it here and you wore it at Southern Utah.
I was a big Kevin Durant fan in high school, and I wore it in high school, and I just figured I'd keep it. I was always either 15, 25, or 35, so I guess anything ending with a 5 I kind of adjusted to.
So did you ask for it when you came here?
Yeah, I asked for 35, and if that was taken, I would have taken 25 and then 15. I had all types of contingency plans.
All right, so you've been a lot of places, but you grew up in Carefree, Arizona. Is it really
Yes.
carefree in Carefree, Arizona?
Yeah, the mantra there is Carefree Arizona, where no one cares and nothing's free. There's a lot of older people there, so they have fun with it.
What's your favorite part of your hometown?
Honestly, the environment is really cool. We're kind of in a desert type area, so our house has a lot of wildlife coming through it. So we have javelina, a lot of cactuses. It was horrible for shooting because every day I'd shoot outside, I'd get a bunch of these little prickly things in my ball, which was a nightmare. So I spent a lot of money on balls growing up. But other than that, it was just a really scenic place. You can go up on a roof, look at the mountains.
I think the cactus parts and the balls is something that no one else in South Dakota State has ever had to deal with.
Oh, it's a nightmare. It's horrible.
So it's near Phoenix. So did you grow up a Suns fan, like Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm kind of an all Arizona fan. Suns, Cardinals. I'm not super big into hockey, but I'll root for the Coyotes.
Diamondbacks?
Oh, man. I cried when Alfonso Soriano hit that home run in the 8th inning in 2001. But we pulled it out. Luis Gonzalez got it. We're good.
There you go. What was your favorite part of Cedar City, Utah, where you went to?
Cedar City, Utah. Similar to here, everything was really close. I had to drive 45 minutes a day to get to my high school, so being able to go anywhere, maximum 10 minutes, was awesome for me.
Was there any place in Cedar City you liked, like a restaurant or a hangout or anything like that?
Where did I
The
go
mountains
in
or
Cedar
anything?
City? What was my favorite place? I don't know. There were a few good restaurants that I liked. There's a smoothie place. There was a donut shop. There were a few places that I enjoyed.
So obviously, being from the Southwest, how are you handling this Brookings winter? Have you ever handled cold like we see?
No, this is otherworldly. I have not. I thought I experienced cold, but it was shocking. It
Still adjusting?
It changed me. I think internally, this 30-degree weather feels like t-shirt weather now.
What is your favorite food?
Pizza, pepperoni pizza, for sure.
Specific kind or specific restaurant or any place, or just
There's a
doesn't
place in
matter?
Arizona called Grimaldi's Pizza. That's my favorite. Every time I go back, I get that.
You kind of mentioned it when you said why you wear 35, but who is your basketball idol or basketball hero?
Basketball hero.
Is it Durant because of 35, or is it someone else?
I have a lot of players I admire. I've always loved KD just because of his size and his skill set, and also being a skinnier guy. I was skinnier growing up. Obviously, I'm not 7 feet tall, but I just loved his height, his ability to shoot, his skill level. So yeah, I'd say probably Kevin Durant.
Do you have a superstition before each game? Is something you have to do, listen to, anything like that?
I'd say the thing I do most before every game is I shave whatever I have, or if I have a beard, I trim up the beard. If I have nothing, I do something with it. I don't know. I just started doing that.
When did that start?
When I got facial hair.
So was that middle school or high school?
Oh, no. Probably my freshman year of college when I started getting something that was noticeable to other people and unsightly to me. So I would kind of take care of it before games, and then as I continued to hit puberty, I got more to work with.
So basically, whether you choose to rock a beard or go clean shaven, you have to neaten yourself up.
Yeah,
shaving-wise
I do
before
something before every game just to make sure let the fans know I care about my appearance.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Favorite TV show?
Probably The Office.
a little old school. I like the early seasons of The Office are the best ones.
Yeah, they're definitely the best ones. I mean, I think the later seasons were definitely passable. I enjoyed them, but I'm a huge fan.
Last one, you and your teammates are in a horse contest. Who wins?
I haven't seen anybody do anything like totally wild that I wouldn't be able to do, so I have to go with myself on this one. I have to go with myself. I have to show a little confidence and take myself in this one.
Well, you are the sharpshooter. You
Yeah.
three-pointers.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Mike Dom can do some behind the back. He's got long arms, throw it from behind the backboard. I don't know, but I
you
think
would
right
still
now,
say
I'd take
yourself.
Me. Yeah, I'll take me right now.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Right back with a look ahead to the games this week, and the professor, Brad Newitt, in with a couple of teachable moments for the Jackrabbit basketball teams.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, Service First Federal Credit Union, and JackrabbitCentral.com.
Welcome back, joined by Brad Newitt, who is a physics teacher in real life. And the Jackrabbit men play at Western Illinois Wednesday night. Newitt, what is one thing the Jacks can learn and use from their first two Summit League games?
They have to get the supporting cast going around Mike Dom to perform consistently. They can't expect Dom to carry the load every night. He's doing it, and they're barely winning.
All right, the SDSU women play Fort Wayne at Frost Arena on Thursday night. What point should they have learned so far?
Well, I think they can't become too much of a perimeter-oriented team. You look down at USD, Tom, they barely got to the free throw line. They're relying a lot on the outside shot. That's got to change. They got to go inside first.
The Jacks women have taken 58 three-pointers in their first two Summit League games. There's a doubleheader Saturday at Frost Arena. Men and the women both play in Omaha. We will have both live here on Midco Sports Network starting at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you next week on Jack Journal.